Good, y'all. You already know what it is, man. This is T.Parris, a.k.a. the Young Marvin Gaye. This rap shit, most original, most creative, most in tune with the times, and I'm sort of like your inspiration. And this is P's Perspective. But let's not waste no time. Let's get right into it. Today's topic is titled, Who Am I? Now, I know you probably wonder where I'm going with that, but you sit back and rest assured, I got it all covered, man. Today we're going to have a real impactful episode, man. Now, first and foremost, if you don't know, I'm a hip-hop artist, right? And if you listen to my music, a lot of my music tell my story. You know, I grew up in a dysfunctional household. Who am I? I recall going to school. When I went to school, they taught me a lot about people like Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, and I love their theories, their philosophies. I love what they stood for, you know. I'm proud to say that I'm a person of color because they are people of color. But what I feel like was missing is that a sense of me being able to identify with them for my struggle. Now, a lot of people might question, you know, why do you feel like you can't identify with them? But it's a little bit more deeper than just the civil rights aspect about it. I'm talking about, you know, growing up in a household, my mom and my pop was addicted to drugs, you know what I'm saying? My dad wasn't there. I didn't really have the guidance that I felt like a young boy should have at an early age, you know, things of that nature. So when I look to some of the people that I idolize or I look up to, I look to for motivation, you know, names that come to mind are people like Malcolm X, you know, and sometimes while we was in school, they taught us about Malcolm X. And if you understand, like I understand, I think that they didn't teach us about Malcolm X often because they felt like his theory was a little bit too militant. But how about Geronimo Pratt, you know? Do you guys know about Geronimo Pratt? Geronimo Pratt served 2 terms in the Vietnam War for this country. You know, he was a sergeant. After that, he got a grant where he went off to college to UCLA. He studied political science. And this is all before becoming a part of the Black Panther Party. How about Stokely Carmichael? Young man from Harlem. Grew up in the Bronx, went to school at Bronx Science. Full scholarship to Harvard University, turned it down. Went to Howard University. All before getting involved with the Black Panther Party. You know about Malcolm X, as I mentioned before. How about George Jackson? You know, George Jackson robbed a gas station and was sentenced from 1 to life for $70. You know, while he was in jail, though, you know, they say he's very, very aggressive as a prisoner, but very intelligent and had the passion, you know, as well as the articulation, you know, to unite a lot of people to come together. And this is all before joining the Black Panther Party. When I turn on the television, you know, I'm forced to watch things like the news. Every time I turn on the news and I hear about people of color, it's always something negative or some type of violence that is taking place, you know, whether it's in our community or through the police, you know, brutality. I remember being in school during the Rodney King situation, you know, they telling us he should have paid attention and listened to what they were saying, but we all saw it on tape, you know. That was a human being being beat down aggressively, you know, and they don't teach us about civil rights leaders who have taught us to fight back in these situations. And I'm not saying that he was supposed to get up and physically fight back because he was at a disadvantage at that point in time. But you see the repercussions that took place out in L.A., you know, afterwards. You watch sports, you know, basketball, football, and I love that. But who am I? You know, I'm not an NBA athlete. I'm not an NFL athlete. I'm not a Major League Baseball athlete. I don't have that type of money to take care of my family like that. And so when I turn the TV on and I fall in love with these star players, you know, I don't really see the struggle that it takes to get there. You know, that piece is missing once again. You know, I recall watching television shows like The Cosby Show and Good Times, and I love both those shows. You know, Good Times is my favorite, though. Good Times is my reality, and The Cosby Show was like where I dreamed of being at, you know. as much as I admire Bill Cosby for his ability to articulate and have a family and keep them together and be able to solve problems in, 30 minutes, I never saw the struggle of what it took in order for him to get there, you know? So again, you know, as a young black male growing up in the inner city, another situation where I can't really identify with the struggle, you know? So as I'm going through some of the things that I'm going through and I'm having a hard time, I don't know where to turn, because when I'm in class, they don't teach us about this. When I'm in my community, you know, these are not the people that I'm seeing. The people that I'm seeing in my community are shunned upon by the media, you know what I'm saying, or by the general, you know, public, because maybe they don't work, you know, honest 9-to-5s every day of their lives. You know, some of us do, but some of us haven't been afforded, you know, the opportunity every day of our lives for whatever reason, you know, and not making excuses, just calling a spade a spade. And you know, it makes me question, who am I? You know, who am I? You think about just growing up and sometimes going through things and want to feel like, good or bad, that you could turn to somebody and share it with them, and they'll be able to identify with every, you know, aspect of what you're going through, or if not every aspect, at least enough to be able to explain what's going on, what's taking place, you know. And I wanted to lend insight on this, because I just want us to stop, you know, pointing fingers at the young men, you know, going through the things that they going through out here in the street, at the young women going through what they going through, and just, you know, us as a community, let's stop pointing fingers at each other, and let's think about some of the things that I'm talking about, you know. Now, all of us have been, you know, taught about powerful, impactful people the way we live, at least, that go through the struggles that we have gone through, you know, on a day-to-day basis, in order for us to be, you know, motivated to continue to reach these levels of success. And again, I'm not making excuses, because some people have been able to achieve, but I want to come back and think about those who haven't. And this is T.Parris, man. This is P's Perspective. Toast to the town.